Expect. Oh, almost forgot you. Expect, and I was gonna say expect the unexpected, and
That
we
was that
definitely
was
did.
that was unexpected. I have to. You delivered very well.
Delivered, yes. Oh man, that was funny. I was like, all right, I'm gonna say expect the unexpected because that gets said a couple of times in this episode, and yeah,
You should
definitely.
have remembered that.
I know, right? You should remember. Such a good line. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to DC Fan-imated. We are talking, of course, World's Finest Part 2. I'm, of course, Dave, the film junkie. With me, as always, Scott McClellan. What's happening?
Hey there. It was really funny because as I was watching the episode today, I I always remembered where this episode ended. I kind of forgot where this episode started.
It's interesting how, yeah, because I totally forgot how it started too, especially, I mean, where it starts and who surprises who, and a little peck on the cheek. Aww.
I know, it's so sweet. There must
Oh,
be motives.
yeah.
I have questions.
Oh man. But yes, we are talking about this obviously part 2 of 3, and we nerded out big time last week when it came to World's Finest Part 1 and just everything involved with it. And then of course there's more here. It's just this is just oh, it's so good. It's just so good.
It was interesting when I was watching it, realizing that all 3 parts have different writers. And
Okay.
I didn't rea now, the story overall was conceived by Alan Burnett and Paul Dini. Is
Okay.
anyone surprised? I mean, there's you could have laid good money that those guys were the ones who wrote the story for the 3-parter. But I never thought I picked up on the fact that the screenplays for each individual episode were written differently. That so, like last week, I think it was Alan Burnett, Paul Dini, um, what was Rich Fogel on there? Maybe Hilary Bader, but then this one is Steve Gerber, and then we can talk about part 3 next week. But I was just like, oh wow, the all 3 parts are written by different people. The animation in this one is slightly different from part 1.
Yeah, I noticed that myself. Yeah, a couple
Um,
shots I was like, oh, this is not the top tier.
the beginning of this episode at the planet was like it was even weird that the animation wasn't even consistent in the episode
Really?
itself.
Yeah, because it looked good at some points, and then there's some shots I was like, all right, that's what Batman looks like.
Okay, we're going to talk about that because I had the same thought.
Yeah,
I
there's a
really
shot of
did.
Batman in here. I was like, whoa, that looked a little interesting. I was like,
Yes.
did not look sharp, but maybe it's a translation to digital. I don't know. There's
No,
some
no, no. That was the way it looked.
that's the way I looked.
No, remember, like we discussed last week. I watched this episode so many freaking damn times. No, that's the way it's always looked.
Yeah, all
So
right. We got Maska Shy right here, of course, the guy who animated our the beginning of our stream right here. We got
I know,
Sabrina.
but he teased us with maybe something new coming. I'm just
I
so
mean, he was saying like, what about a combination? I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, as we get further along in this universe, we're gonna need some
we're gonna
different
need different
intros.
combinations. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then we got Sabrina right here. Yes, good evening to you. And then of course Jason McKenzie. Man, you've been too nice lately when it comes to the super chats. But thank you, sir. Ahoy, ahoy. Thank you for helping out the pirate ship as always, Jason. And then we got Jeffrey right here. This should have been BVS. Well,
That's what a lot and you know what? That's what a lot of people say, and I get it. Like if I'm
I
being
get it.
objective, I stand back and go, I understand. Like I
Yeah,
understand this 3-part crossover. I mean, at least in anything that wasn't on the page,
yeah,
was our first crossover of these 2 characters. Well, I mean, for our generation, no, I didn't grow up on Super Friends. Like Super Friends was around, but to get the characters in this sort of post-crisis where they're at odds, like they're reluctantly working together in some ways, I get it.
yeah.
And there was a part of me before I even saw BVS that went, all you need to do is do World's Finest part, like this is your blueprint. Like, do this. And I was there too, because it is, as far as a crossover is concerned for Batman and Superman, especially of a more traditional Batman Superman type crossover, it's kind of it's the bar
It
of
really
like,
is.
this is what you traditionally would want in a Batman Superman crossover. So I get it. And I don't knock anyone who says it, because it's like, dude, my brain was there too before I saw the movie.
Dude, like, I remember when I saw the theatrical, and I enjoyed the theatrical BVS, of course, but then there was, like, I had the same, like, what you were saying is, like, I had a different kind of idea, and I remember I made a video back then, you could find it, where I was like, "You know what? Yeah, as much as I like this is I would have gone, like, this approach, or, like, a scene like this or something like this," but then it was funny because then when the ultimate cut came out, I was like, "You know what? A lot of the things I was like that I felt were missing, yeah, it's actually in here. It's just done differently, and I like what Zach did instead." So it was like one of those kind of things. But yeah, I was like, but in my head, I was the same way. I was like thinking about this, thinking about the animated universe, and just thinking about, yeah, that's I remember doing that and going, oh boy, I'm surprised none of the people that like to throw stuff at me go like, remember went back when you made this video? I was like, yeah, but it's just the way it is. You have your own idea when it comes to crossovers.
Yeah, this one, you know what? People give crap to Bruce's relationships in the animated universe. I mean, Bruce Tim gets no no shortage of crap.
Yeah.
And I'm, you know, I don't back in the day, no one I think really had an issue with the Bruce Lois thing.
No.
I like the way it's done in this, especially this opening scene. Because if we're gonna jump into the episode, Bruce is being really sweet.
Yes.
By the time this episode starts, it's been, correct me if I'm wrong, it's been 3 days since part 1,
I think it's something like that, yeah.
because because Bruce, even when talking to Clark, is like 3 nights and not even a green hair or something like that. If I'm getting the timeline correct. And I just like the way that there's like this, because Clark turns right back around. Well, you have been dividing your attention.
Yeah, but you know what I love too is, like, when Bruce, like, when he talks to him about stuff, he drops his voice.
Batman voice,
Yes,
yes,
yeah.
he turns into Batman voice.
I forgot that it's like, it's just so funny because he just goes into that persona, talking to Bruce or talking to Lois in obviously like the Bruce Wayne voice, and then all of a sudden, like, Clark just
3
goes like,
nights and not a single green hair.
yeah, I know. Any look finding the comedian, it's like, and then he just drops his voice, and it just, oh man, I just love that. I just love that that he gets back into that mode.
Well, it's like what we talked about all the way, almost 3 years now since we
Yeah.
started this stream. It going back to On Leather Wings, when he's in
Hey,
the
Doc.
Batman costume. Hey,
What's
what?
up, Doc?
What's up, Doc? And
Yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah.
it's always funny to me when he does the wrong voice for how he looks.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of crazy. Yeah, especially like because he's just, he's got the suit on, it's Bruce, and then he just drops his voice down to hear when he's talking business with. I mean, it's such a cool moment. I just love that. I just love that. And I forgot that actually happened in here. And I was like, okay. So I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, it seems, yeah, of course and then of course Clark showing his jealousy a little bit, of course, that's just what's going to happen. And then, Bruce and Lois go out on a date, and they're on a balcony and looking out on the city, and Bruce is given that charm because she's just like, the city's beautiful at night, and then he's like, that's not the city I'm looking at. Oh,
Okay. Just I want to go ahead and address this right now.
okay, hold on, you're pixelating.
I'm pixelating.
Yeah, I know it took a little bit this time, but yeah, you're pixelating. You're getting, he's blushing right now. What's going on, Andrew? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you, King. Also, all right. But yeah, he's laying on the lines a little bit. He's laying it on pretty thick when it comes to Lois right there. Anyways,
okay, I was pixelating because it wasn't going to like what I was about to ask.
okay.
they've been like knocking boots, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, come on.
We're not under
Yeah, when you
any
were watching this
apprehension.
as adults, there's no way,
There's
that yeah.
no, they have been banging since that, first day. I like
Yeah.
I'm
There's no
sorry.
way. I mean, even though that Bruce Wayne has a hotel somewhere, well, maybe they've done that there too. I don't know, but yeah, it's like yeah. There's just he probably didn't need a hotel. That's all I'm saying.
I just wanted to make sure that we were both on the same
Yes.
page.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Totally believe it. If he's been there that long, there's no way. And
Oh, there's no way. And the way Lois is all like, especially the conversation she ends up having with Clark later on in the episode, it's like, oh no, you've. I mean, and trust me, and Lois is what we've established. She's 28. She's a grown ass woman. She's
nothing
dated.
wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong. She dated Lex. I mean, she and Lex probably did it. Like, it's just it's a thing.
It's a
It-
thing. It's
it's a
totally
thing. But I do. I I forgot. I remembered it as it was happening because I could quote it as the lines came up. But dear God, did Mark Hamill get some of the best lines in
so
this
many good.
episode?
So many good. Don't you know? Yeah, he says like he shows up and like, don't you know not to mess with Superman's main
Say,
squeeze?
oh, you do live dangerously, don't you, Brucey?
Yeah,
Don't you know she's Superman's main
yes,
squeeze?
there it is. Yeah. I mean, he's got some good ones in here for sure. And I must say though, Joker's henchmen worse shooters than fucking stormtroopers.
Oh my God. Oh my only justification, because right, I mean, stormtroopers have better accuracy than
Yeah.
Carlini's men.
Yeah.
But I almost have to think the way they were shooting, they weren't trying
We could look at it like that. Yeah.
to hit him. I mean, they're shooting at his feet like it's Back to the Future Part 3 going, dance, Marvin, dance.
Didn't think about that. Yeah, but
I
he,
just
I mean,
need
hey,
Bruce. I
Bruce,
just need Bruce suddenly bust into the moonwalk.
hey, he might as well have. I mean, he was dancing it up. I mean, they were yeah, you're right. They were not trying to kill him. They were shooting at his feet. I think it was like when he falls over, and then of course he's on the scaffolding, and then they're shooting at him. Then and it's just like, okay, that's when it gets a little all right.
All right, no, this is when you should be hitting the guy.
Yeah, I'm like, it seems like you're trying to kill him now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, I do really like Joker's. Make sure he's street pizza. In this town, some fool in tights could have got him.
Yeah. Guess again, another good line right there. Yeah, bad shots. And then of course we have the Joker blimp. It's the first appearance of a Joker blimp right here.
I know, but before then, I want to talk about the fact that when they shoot the floor out from under him on the scaffolding. Dear God, that hurt me. Just like he's falling. Of course, he's Batman, and he grabs that ledge.
Oh,
yeah. My hands just went. Oh fuck, God.
Not the first time we've seen that though. I mean, he's got good grip strength. Remember, he's got grip strength in those
leg
thighs.
day.
Yes, thighs and grip strength when it comes to Bruce right here. So I mean, but yeah, I know it does. I mean, but that's it's not the first time we've seen that where it's like, geez, it's like that just. Anytime you see that, you kind of go, oh, you were falling. You're already getting velocity right there. And then you just stop and, it's like, it's like, I mean, it's even like that scene in Batman Begins when he grabs Raish and like that. He goes, and he just yells out before he goes off the cliff. Just,
yes.
Oh, God. You just, every time I watch that, I always feel a pain like right between my freaking boobs, man. I'm like, oh, just imagine that.
Oh my God. At least when Bruce picks himself up off the ledge, it's like he feels something. It's like, oh no, you're gonna feel that for like the next several days unless you're like crunching some Advil.
Yeah.
But yes, we see the Joker blimp, and I just love how Joker's there just waving. and there's Harley like, hi.
Yeah. It's funny. And then of course we would fast forward a little bit and then we're back on the ground and then we got Turpin. We got Turpin back right here.
Great. Gotham's sending their goons here now.
I know, right? It's like he's like, I already have to deal with a bunch of crap here. Now I got to deal with God. I mean, it's funny because we're Just the fact that even the cops are like, fucking Gotham, man.
I
Yeah.
know. I had something, it's just something that I love being a DC fan, that all things being equal, everyone's gonna shit on Gotham.
Exactly. Yeah, and even Turpin, this miserable bastard, and he's dealing with the stuff with the Metropolis, and he's even just like, man, even Gotham sending their fucking freaks here. God, my job's already hard enough, and I have to deal with these lunatics that come from that city. Jesus Christ, I just love that line. Yeah, it was a good line. And then of course, like Bruce is like, well, she's just a bait, and then we get the first line of expect the unexpected, and then of course, we get the response, which I mean, again, the relationship between these two, just they're working together but at odds, and
It's
I
like,
mean it.
like fuck you. Okay,
Yeah.
they have a similar goal, and they
Mhm.
acknowledge, okay, we both want the same thing. We'll
Exactly.
deal with each other until we absolutely have to. And
Yeah.
that's a really cool relationship that, you know, they kind of stay at odds in a way throughout the entire animated universe. It's like they're never the best friends.
No.
They're kind of the pleasant coworkers.
Pretty much, you're tolerating, and you could tell by the conversation that you're pixelating again. By the way,
Oh, what the
oh, it's
heck?
been a while since twice has happened, but it's kind of funny because it reminded me of the end of BBS when it's just like you find the spear. I've been busy. It's like they have that relationship. And I wish we could have saw more of that when it came to the Snyderverse. But I mean, I was just saying like when did you find the spear? I've been busy. I mean,
I've
like
been busy.
that captured it for a brief moment. Obviously, we didn't get I wish we got more of that exchange when it came to Snyderverse stuff.
It's kind of like the issue with you. I thought she was with you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like one of those things where it's like, all right, well, let's kick some ass, but I'm just gonna be like, I'm totally gonna be so standoffish with you. I mean, that's what it is. They're standoffish with each other, so standoffish. Well, I think more Superman standoffish because he's got a jealousy thing that's happening.
Well, and also, like Clark says at the Daily Planet at the beginning of the episode, your reputation in and out of costume is dubious at best.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, I mean, let's face it. You got the Playboy billionaire, which is like really Lois, and then of course you got Batman and the way that he does things. Really, it's like,
Yeah. It goes back to the end of part 1 when Superman was like, "I will not have vigilantism in my
yeah,
town."
yes, that it is. God, I just love this relationship. Okay, so then we get to obviously Lois got held captive because she got like shocked, kind of electrocuted a little bit when it came
Oh,
to
yeah, the joy buzzer,
yeah, of course. And then of course she's tied up and everything. Did you notice what was on Joker's wall?
I saw a Batman, like
Yeah,
a
right next to a
squishy or
bullseye.
yeah.
There's a Batman head right next to a bullseye. I was like, oh, I had to rewind it. I was like, oh, that's funny because there's a bullseye and then of course a Batman head like right next to it on his wall in his hideout. It's like, of course there is, because he's obsessed. He's
He is
obsessed.
so obsessed. And of course he's got the laughing dragon there. He's got a screwdriver and a mallet. And I like it because he's also and it's actually going to be a thread throughout season 3 of Batman the Animated Series about how Joker's hard for cash.
Oh yeah.
Like that is a character thing. So I love it when his first thought is, well, first I'm going to get paid $1 billion by Lex Luthor to kill Superman, and then I'm going to auction off this hunk of rock because it's going to be worth even more when it actually kills him. And I like the continuity there of, I'm just thinking about how I'm going to make a butt ton of money right now.
Yeah, he's definitely explaining that, and I like how he breaks the dragon and it falls into a few chunks right there. But the next scene, I love this scene because we have an appearance from Alfred. No words, no nothing. It is just so subtle. It's so fucking Batman. It's
So
ridiculous. We're
his
in a
plane is in a
yeah,
plane.
a plane. Yeah, the Batwing is in his plane. what the fuck? And we got Alfred just standing there, you know, or like he's just standing there, and we see the nose open up, the bat wing like comes out, the wings come out, and then Alfred just hits the little button to open up the hanger, and then it just flies out, and then it just turns around like, just a normal day. But I was like, that was such a badass. Forgot about that scene. I was like, it's such a badass Batman scene. No dialogue, no nothing. Just a badass Batman scene.
And this is a really great shot of, and I'm going to admit, I dig the redesign of the Batwing.
Yeah.
I like
Look good.
I like the more jet looking Batwing versus this might be sacrilege, but versus the Batwing that we see in the first 2 seasons of Batman the Animated Series. I like this version more. I do. I really do. It looks cool, but it's jetty. It's more of a jet look.
Yeah.
I think I've had this conversation before, kind of like how I really love Robert Pattinson's Batmobile because it looks like a car, you know, versus a tank. So I think the same principle applies here, where I really like this New Adventures design of the Batwing. But I just think it's so badass. This plane's in a plane. Like,
it's just so cool. It's just, it's just so funny. It's like, he came prepared. He obviously didn't bring the Batmobile, but he brought the Batwing because obviously he was going to need it, especially if you have somebody else who just flies by themselves. He's going to need some kind of transportation when it comes to flying in the air. So, that was really cool. And then we get Turpin and Superman that are in his office, and then of course he gets a video phone call from Joker, basically showing that, wanting to talk to Superman and showing that Lois is now, just like in true Batman villain fashion, they gotta like always tie somebody up and hang them somewhere.
Right. It reminded me of Christmas with the Joker.
Yes.
The giant bow that she's tied up with.
But what was what was exactly happening with all the light? I mean, like, what was happening kind of there? Was he just like, it was just kind of weird. It was like he was trying to distract where he only wanted Superman to know where.
Yes, exactly. That's what's going on. But that light was so blinding that no human could actually like look at it and see.
Yeah.
Joker, once again, Joker's insane, but he's a genius.
He's a genius, but I'm like, where did he get that little nifty thing right there where it's like,
where did he get any of the stuff that I think he has to have got for this episode? I would have said he got something from Lex.
He had to have. You're pixelating again, by the way.
What?
I know. Oh, it happens. But yeah, there's like the screen just like lights up and blah, 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 because he's showing where Superman and Turpin are, obviously at the police station. And then, of course, showing where Lois is. But yeah, it was just like, man, I'm like, he's got something going on here with the light rays just like shooting through. But of course, Superman, was able to actually see where it was, and then of course flies off to go get her. But yeah,
and then I love the fact that Batman is tracking Superman on the radar of the Batwing, and just goes
right there. And then I love that we don't see it, but when Superman shows up at the hideout, thinking ahead, kryptonite suit.
Yeah, there's a lot that happens in this episode that I love how the writers don't lose the fact that this version of Superman, this version of Clark, that they're very smart. It's like Superman knows this is bait. So Batman's already warned him at the end of part 1 that Joker's got a huge hunk of kryptonite. So he knows, if I'm going to go to this, obviously a trap, I got to have my suit. Now, it does, however, look like Joker, doing his research, is prepared for that anti-kryptonite suit. But he plays it off so well, because he plays it off like, dag nabbit, you got me today, Superman.
Yeah. And then I love that too. He goes, oh wait, that's right. I forgot about the acid.
And I just love Mark Hamill's delivery. I forgot about the acid.
Yeah. It's so good. So delivered. And it's like, yeah, there you go. And of course, shoots it on and like, melts the suit, and then of course, obviously that's gonna like and yeah, again, it's just like you said, even though he's a lunatic, he's got some brains right there
Yeah.
and it worked. And I love that. And then of course, I love it when obviously Batman's gonna show up, and we should show him showing up, and then Harley tries to warn him, and then of course I love how, again he's like, sorry, we have a pest control problem.
Well,
Another
and
great
then of
line.
course I love how this was. You talked about the promos last week,
Yeah.
and several of these
No.
bits showed up in the
Yeah.
promo because once again it's Batman gonna Batman. It's
Yeah.
like at least now when the goons are being with their stormtrooper aim, at least it's Batman like
Doing then, yeah, he's dodging and
he's
ducking
doing the
and
jogging
yeah.
and driving and throwing the batarangs and all that stuff. But this is where some of his animation is like he's
Yes,
very
this is
angular.
yeah. All of a sudden I was like, whoa, that's not good looking right there. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. So this is what we were talking about when it came to some of the animation. I'm like, from pretty much before this, it was fine, but yeah, right here it gets a little wonky. Gets a little wonky.
It's
Gets a
funny.
little the Batman kind of esque.
Yeah, well, it
Mhm.
was kind of funny though because I remember Bruce Timm and Alan Burnett and Paul Dini talking about conversations they had with the Korean animation studio that was animating
Mm.
this episode, and they had a translation issue d-
Ooh.
during this crossover event because they would storyboard and do animatics, and they wanted Batman flying
Really?
because he wore a cape. And apparently, in their culture, if you wore a cape, it meant you could fly. So
Wow.
so that was a really funny story that they had to be like, "No, no, no." Like, they would say he would jump out a window, and they would draw him flying, and they'd be like, he can't do that."
He doesn't do
Like,
that. He glides. He glides. It's like, wow, that's pretty funny. I didn't know that.
it's great. It was a fun story. It was a fun story that they would
Oh,
tell,
sure.
and I can't remember if it was in a documentary. I think it was in
That
uh
one.
the voice commentary.
The
Um,
voice, yeah.
I can't remember if on the old DVD set, I don't think all 3 parts had commentary, but at least one part had commentary on it, and they told that story, and I just thought,
Wow.
"That's interesting."
It's a
Like,
funny
that sort
story.
of lost in translation idea. But, yeah, there's some funky looking Batman in this scene, but, it's cool. I was just like, "Punch, kick, jump downstairs. Punch, kick, take out goons."
But it's cool. It's Batman doing his thing. And then of course he gets trapped in the room as Batman does. With when it comes to the Joker, and of course gas starts filling the room. It's the laughing gas, and then it's like, but
At least
Batman has
you'll die with a great big
a smile
smile on your
on your
face. Have a happy.
face. But then of course Batman does his Batman thing, and he starts like starts looking around, and it's like, hey, look around, let me see what I could use. And he finds something, but not gonna actually work too well. But then Superman comes in and helps him out.
Yes, I
Yeah,
love this. I
yeah.
appreciate this so much that Superman's the
Because
one that goes.
remember, we still have a big chunk of kryptonite that's in the room, so Superman is fucking out for the count. He can't do anything because he's just losing, all kinds of. He's on the ground, just like half dead.
Yeah, and then because Batman finds the hydrochloric acid, knows he can't eat through anything.
Quickly.
It's not a Looney Tune. Like
Yeah.
he knows that the acid is going to take a while.
I like how
But
he says it out loud because it's like, hey, you got to tell the audience.
yeah, exactly. But then Superman's like, kryptonite.
Yes, it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah, pour it on that piece of shit.
pour it on the rock, pour it on the rock, and that's exactly what it does. And then of course, Superman starts getting his strength back.
But I love it when Batman goes up to him and goes, "Get it together, Kent."
Again, the relationship.
I
Like,
know, yeah. And then of course, Superman shakes it off, and I kind of had a BVS moment here where
mm,
he grabs Batman, He flies up, he grabs Lois, and he says, "Keep your head down," because he goes through a wall. But if you look at it, they animate it this way. He's got Batman and Lois right here, and
Yeah.
he puts his head down and covers them and uses like the back of his head and his neck as the battering ram to smash through the doors, to smash through the walls to get through this compound. And that made me think about, in the Nairobi scene when, he grabs the warlord and goes
Yeah.
through the wall. And I'm like, well, that's how he would have done it. He would have
Exactly. With all the people complaining, like, he killed that guy. It's like, well, if he was leading with his own self and went through the wall, it's like, yeah, he probably scared the shit out of him, but could have lived. But yeah, but people don't think like that. They just think like, oh yeah, he killed that. But yeah, but you're right. Yeah, it's a similar kind of moment going through a wall right there. And then I love it, like, well, when we do that, when they get out of there, and then of course they show up, and I love that shot. That's why I chose that shot for the thumbnail. I couldn't even find it on Google. I actually was like, all right, I need this shot because I love the shot of him just like in the melted type of suit. You got the S out, and he's pointing at the Joker, and we got Batman and Lois behind him. And I just thought that was such a really cool shot. And then of course, but Joker throws marbles at him that explode.
I love Superman's reaction, just like,
Yeah.
is he kidding?
It's like, but Batman's probably like, well, that's something that's gonna be bad,
Well, Batman knows that's going to be
Yeah.
bad. But I always thought that was a really cool idea that the marbles, like when they hit each other, they start exploding. Like I always thought that was a cool thing. It was
Nice one, pretty fly for a Filipino guy. Said Joker lost his marbles. Yeah, good one. I like it. I like it.
Okay. That's fair.
That was a good one.
That's fair.
That was a good one. And then of course, what did Batman say? Expect the unexpected. Yes. So of course everything starts blowing up. And remember, we're at a laboratory, a LexCorp laboratory. So it's like, all right, so things are going to start blowing up, and of course, Joker and Harley escape, and then, so again, Superman has to grab Lois and Batman, and then get out of there, and the whole place blows up. But what I love is like when they land.
You saw that too,
yeah, and then Batman's like, "All right, get off me,"
I know,
dude,
like, okay,
total ego thing. It's like, yeah, it just reminds
I just love it. It's like, oh god, let me go.
How many memes, drawings? I even have a little miniature figurine of this, of basically, how many memes have we seen where Batman, because he doesn't have superpowers, that Superman has to like lift him up. He's either sitting on his back, and the little figurine that I have has Superman holding him by his cape and laughing while Batman's like this,
Yes, I know that. Yes. Yeah, I love it. And then, of course, and with this relationship, and it'll continue to the rest of the animated universe, like when Superman will say the most sincere, earnest thing possible, and Batman will reply with the snarkiest, most douchebaggy response. And
man.
I love it. It was like, thank you. I couldn't have saved Lois without you. I'm aware of that.
And then of course, just to show him up for like, yeah, you could fly, but guess what I could do?
Oh my god, that is such a badass move. That's like
kind of almost
like a
Dark Knight
Batman mic drop.
I mean, if you think about it, remember like Dark Knight when he like, when he gets the guy in Hong Kong,
yes.
It kind of reminded me of that. And I'm thinking like Nolan maybe watched something and was like, oh, we could do something, because the Batwing just comes flying in, and he just grappling, just shoots his grappling hook up. It wraps around the wing, and then he just whoosh, just lifts off the ground. It's like, yeah, I get it. You could fly. I got to get creative when I fly, motherfucker. I mean, jeez, it's just so cool. I was like, yeah, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, he has to always, just he's gotta send him down. He always has to send Superman down a peg, just bring him down a peg. Like, hey, yeah.
Of course, there is one question I do ask though. I mean, it's a badass move. I love it.
Yeah.
How the fuck did he get back into the plane?
Who knows? You just gotta, we just gotta come
go with it.
Just go with it. He swung something. He hit the button to retract, and then he swooped up and just perfectly did it.
Landed in the cockpit.
In a very Batman Forever fashion. I don't know. Something like that. But
It's still like Batman out.
Yeah, I know. It's so freaking cool. And then, of course, the next day we got Lex that is just talking to the press and basically be like, hey, nothing to see here. Hey, whatever. It's fine. Lab explosion.
Non-nuclear, it's
Yes.
fine. The citizens of Metropolis are safe. And I love
Yeah.
the reporters going, but what about the Joker? What about the Joker?
Yeah. And Lex is just like, all right, no comments. And then, of course, talks to Mercy and just basically, I should have never trust that clown. And Clark's there, and he, of course, heard that. So it's like, oh yeah, there you go. Now he definitely knows they're in cahoots. And then we got the Joker pissed off at their actual hideout, wherever they're hiding out in Metropolis. And man, just bullets just start just going through. I mean, that's risky.
Oh,
And
no.
it turns out it's Mercy that's shooting those freaking bullets into the hideout.
Oh, I love it when it's over with and they walk in and Joker's like, Lex, don't you think I feel bad enough already?
It's like, come on, man. Give me a little bit of a
But
break.
the scene beforehand, I always love when Harley's playing with like the little
Oh, yeah.
Batman cookie. It's like, hey boss, I'm Batman. Eat me, eat me. Harley, I know you're trying to cheer me up, but when I blow $1 billion deal, it really kills my appetite.
It's so good. Yeah, she was just trying to cheer him up, but of course he's gonna. He shit the bed when it came to this. He thought
And
he
he
had
knows it too. That's
Yes.
what I love it is that he's not trying to make excuses. He's like, well, I fucked up,
Yeah. Gotta, shit. That's what happens. He made the bed. He got to lay in it. It's just what happens. But yeah, Mercy just starts freaking just unloading in there, and of course they walk in there, and yeah. I'm just it. Where am
my
I?
God,
Hold on.
that
Really
scene.
lost. Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry. It's Mercy. Yeah, I was like, I lost my place in my notes.
No,
right here.
I just love the fact that Lex is like Mercy,
Yeah.
and and the fact that Mercy and Harley
Are fighting while they're talking.
I know. I just love it. Like, and you're hearing it, and
Yeah.
you're like, and the little comments, and it's fun. And while Joker's like, Lex, can't we talk this over like gentlemen? And he like walks him over to the chair that just got like annihilated by Mercy's gun, sits him down. He's like, so
I'm gonna need twice the payment. Like I need because I'm dealing with 2 men in tights. Okay. I thought I was just gonna
and
do
I
one.
totally understand Lex's perspective. It's like, fuck you, Batman's your problem, not mine.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell? Yeah, I paid you to get rid of my pest. Just because your pest followed you over here. Again, it's like going back to Turpin. It's like, really? Now we got to deal with, it's like almost like the same thing. It's like, yeah, Lex now has to deal with Batman as well. It's like, okay, that's not my problem. It's your problem. But I just love how Joker was like, yeah, I need twice the payment. Like, really? You really gonna do that after you fucked up trying to kill Superman? You're gonna try to ask for double the payment? Ballsy, very ballsy. But
and then Lex is not having it at all.
no,
He's
of
like,
course.
fuck that.
Yeah.
No, you're gonna kill Superman like originally agreed, and you're gonna get the hell out of Dodge. And then I love it how Mercy is like limping and her pantyhose are ripped, and she's like, she leaves there, and Harley stumbles in, and Joker's just like, how you doing there, slugger?
Oh, geez. And her, her costume's like all ripped up. She's
All ripped up. Hey, okay, Mr. J.
Yeah. And then, of course, falls over. And then, of course, we get Clark showing up at Lois's place. And, did we not think that Bruce wasn't there? I'm just surprised they were dressed, right? They were still wearing
that was coming later, Dave.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I know. Freaking Clark the cockblock. Anyways, it happens. But yeah, and then I just like how Clark gives a little bit of attitude because he's just like, he talking about what's going on with Joker and Lex Luthor, and he goes, maybe you should ask your boyfriend. Because obviously,
it's his business partner,
business partner kind of thing. But I just like how Bruce is like, you know what? I will ask him. And he does it in just a very kind of cheerful way. But of course, he's going to ask him in a very, Batman sort of way.
Oh my God, I love this scene. It kind of reminds me a
Luther
little.
nipples. Sorry.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Lex,
He's a big dude. We see a
big
shirtless
dude.
Lex right here. You know, obviously he's in bed, so dude's jacked.
Oh my God, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of that scene from Mask of the Phantasm when Batman visits Arthur in the hospital a little bit. Like, I love that. But I think my favorite part about the scene is how much Lex is ready to crap himself.
Yes.
When Batman, I mean, he's like, no. I mean, they legitimately make Lex Luthor. He will stare down Superman with no fear, but Batman makes him shit his pants. I love that so much.
So cool because I think he knows that Superman's not going to use his strength to because if he does, he'll kill me. Batman is a human being. He will fucking hurt me very badly and I won't die. So yeah, there's like that fear, not to mention just the way that he is. But then I mean, going back to that Red Claw episode on top of the train where he says he's an equal opportunity, whatever that I forgot exactly. Remember that when he said that?
Yes.
Because Batman punches.
Oh,
Mercy.
he doesn't just punch him. He does like the Batman Returns move.
Yeah,
the back fist, and just knocks her out cold.
I mean, that's just the way I'm looking at it. As hey, you know what? She had a gun on him, and he just freaking totally just gave a fist right to her freaking face. Like so, hey. I immediately remind him.
I'm an equal opportunity crime fighter.
There it is.
That's what he said in The Cat in the Claw. Yes,
exactly. So I mean, if anybody's trying to be like, "Oh my God, Batman hit a lady," no. I mean, she had it coming. Let's face it, and she was about to kill him. And it's mercy, for God's sake. She can hold her own. But yeah, I was just like, fuck, I forgot about that.
By the way, did you notice that she's in Lex's bedroom?
Yeah.
The other guys are outside the door. I'm like, that's a little creepy.
She watching them sleep. She wants to stay down. She's looking at those Lex nipples. Huh? Now what's going on?
At least he's wearing pants.
True. It's very true. You know, he wasn't sleeping all natural, but maybe because he knew Mercy was in there. I don't know. Anyways. And then of course, basically threatening him and saying all that. And I like how he gave like a basically a Terminator line of "Think about it, I'll be back."
And I won't be so nice.
Yes. Oh man. So it just that was pretty cool. And then of course, so then we have this is where we're just gonna jump into it because so much happens at the end right here.
Yeah, because it reminds me, excuse me, a little bit of how Heath Ledger's Joker in The Dark Knight works, where there's like this over here and this over here. It's like it's a very intricate plan. Because once again, Joker's a genius. Like he's got lots of plates spinning because he knows he can't have the two of them together.
Yeah, essentially. And then this is where Lois starts going like, "Hey, I guess things are kind of getting." She's talking about a transfer, and it's like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, that's when I was really thinking like they're knocking boots. I mean, seriously.
Of course, yeah. I mean, my God.
Does this mean you and Bruce?
We haven't made a formal commitment or anything, but yeah, it's that serious.
Whoa!
Hey, shut up. With me out of the picture, you might get a shot at stardom.
Lois,
so arrogant.
I just got word the cruise ship SS Atlantis is sending a distress call 200 miles offshore.
Whoa.
I love Lord's direction. Oh, people in trouble. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is what I'm all about.
Not out of here yet, Lane.
Not out of here yet, Lane. And then, of course, awesome Superman shot right there.
Oh, there's a lot of really cool, like, going up the air and, like, doing twists and turns kind of deal.
And then speaking of X.
Oh, dude. just, he's huge. Yeah. Come on.
Wipe off that sweat, buddy. And then, of course, there's the blimp.
Laugh night at Hobbs Bay. Funny thing, though, there's been already in this in the first two parts, they've spelled Hobbs two different ways.
Have they?
Yes.
I didn't even notice that.
when Clark meets up with Bibbo in part 1, it's only
If I
one
may be so
bee.
bold.
Whoop.
And on that one, it's 2 bees. And I think traditionally it's 2 bees in Hobbs Bay.
It seems like it would be.
Uh,
But then I
And-
love like the it's not the glider this time. It's like it's a glider.
it's a
with
Rocketeer
little-
jetpack.
What's the
There it
problem,
is.
Captain?
Yes.
What do you mean?
You sent out a
Which is
distress
cool
call.
because it's not the first. It's
Not
not the
on
last
my
time we'll see it. It shows up again.
Is that
in the
Conroy's
animated-
voice right there of the captain? Is that Conroy?
No, that wasn't Conroy.
It wasn't Conroy. I thought maybe it was
No.
something different.
It's broadcasting an electronic beacon.
If one of my crew is responsible for this prank, they
I thought maybe he was doing like a different voice.
No. That's one of those voice actors that you hear around in
Okay.
cartoons. I don't remember his name, but he's one of those voices.
Okay.
Whoever sent that distress signal.
Just provided the distress.
Zing. That's a cool shot.
And now, of course, I always remember this.
Mhm.
Copy bad, copy bad.
Copy that, copy that. Suffering from
Propulsion envy, Betsy.
Whoop. We got some luck.
Think of it as a welcome wagon, Bats. Welcoming you to the nearest
Here's
mortuary.
mortuary.
Dun dun dun.
He continued.
Oh, I love that. God, such a great ending.
It is. I do, however, feel like I'll make my final determination next week when we talk about part 3. But I do feel like part 2 is the weakest of the 3.
Really? Okay.
That's where I land.
I mean, yeah, like you said, let's wait till I want to watch the part 3 again to determine that too, because obviously part 1 is so fucking strong.
part 1 is
It's hard not to top that, but yeah, I'm kind of curious to revisit part 3 to see, like, yeah, because usually let's face it, when you have like a trilogy of a story, you want that middle one to be like, not like there's anything bad happening here. There's a lot of good. There's so much good in here, but it's just that the other 2 parts are just so fucking strong. So
yeah, and especially because I think, like I said, I'm projecting here. I feel like I'm going to land on the fact that I think part 1 has always been my favorite of the 3. So
agree
this
with
episode is handicapped by the fact that it follows part 1, and it just you're just set up for failure when it comes to that.
yeah, it started off way too strong. And if you guys didn't watch part 1 or listen to part 1, we were nerding out hard, and it's just pure, just like, oh my god, this is like the event.
It's a geekgasm.
It's
The
total
entire
geekgasm.
stream.
Yeah, it's entire. So yeah, we'll be talking about part 3 next week. So make sure you guys watch that and come back here. And yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how we kind of rate this thing. And but like I said, I think you're onto it right there when it comes to part 1. It's just too difficult to top.
Too damn good. It's
Too damn good.
good.
It's real freaking good. But there you go, guys. We appreciate it. And I think I saw, oh yeah, Lisa was also showed up right here. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Much appreciated.
Woohoo!
And everybody else, thank you guys for spending some time with us. Go ahead and promote, Scott.
Well, of course, you can find me on Twitter at ScottDC27. You can find me on Instagram at McMurlin. You can find me on Vero at Scott McClellan. You can find my podcast at DC Squadcast, wherever podcasts can be found. We're on Vero, Facebook, YouTube, with the entire network of shows at squadcastmedia.com.
There it is. All right, guys. Hit that like, thumbs up, subscribe, do all that. See you tomorrow for the Vodka stream at 7 p.m. Pacific time. We'll talk about all the nerdy stuff with the panel. So make sure you tune into that. And like I said, next week, part 3. Can't wait. All right, guys. Talk to you later.